Welcome to the channel. Hit subscribe and guess movie name in the comments. The young boy Fabietto has attraction to his aunt. After he lost his parents and learns to be a real man with an older woman. Now he experiences a feeling how it's good to do dirty things. The boy lives in a house with his parents, older brother and sister. The boy has no relationship with girls or women, but he dreams about to has one. Fabietto spends all his time studying and listening to music, dreaming of going to university. We see Januarius in the evening from his car invites Patricia to his house. Patricia has no trust to him, but the man knows her very well. Januarius promises to solve the woman problems to be pregnant and asks to spend a night with her. Patricia back home and quarrels with her jealous husband, who considers her an easily accessible woman. Then we see Fabietto, Maria, and Saverio go to Patricia's house. While is supporting her sister in this moment, we see Fabietto looks at her aunt, admiring her. Her husband Franco is angry by his wife's behavior, while Saverio and his son Fabietto are trying to calm the man down, justifying the behavior of the unfortunate Patricia. By returning home, the family goes about their own business and forget about the other problems. Then we see Baroness comes to them, a woman who lives above them. Baroness, an old lady with strong character, but very nice to talk with her. Maria like her. After the husband leave to work, Maria from balcony greeting them, expressing their feelings. The boy arrived to school and he does not playing football. Fabietto, but no one from the folk wants to talk to him, while the pastor offers the boy to confess his sins. Back home and at the dining table, the entire family gathers in the garden to meet Luicella's fiancé. 42 old, the woman now. Till now she has no husband, so the entire family now want to see him. While the children play nearby with Aunt Binocular, we see Patricia and Franco continue to fight. Franco cannot imagine how his wife has done this and how she is an easy woman. Grandma sits alone enjoying having her soup and does not want to interact with anyone. Maria and her husband look to each cheerful and whistles, thus demonstrating her passion. Maria wants to entertain the children, so she juggles fruit, making happiness atmosphere. While the men talking about the football and local Napoli team arguing about the financial crisis. Then one boy shout that he noticed Aunt Luisella with her man are arrived. Then we see that he was a year-old man and a former policeman who limps. Then everyone scoffed Luisella, but she did not reply. Then the entire family goes to the sea to swim and to enjoy their time. Leaving her fiancé on the yacht, Luisella jumped into the water and causes tsunami. Her fiancé is talking with the Patricia, but Patricia throws the battery device for conversation away. Once on the boat, everyone freezes, looking at Patricia behavior. Then we learn that Maria has a mental problems. A woman does not behave quite adequately and tans quite naked. The boy has a crazy passion for Patricia and can't take his eyes off his aunt. Patricia seen that asked her nephew bring a towel and come closer. Then in the sea we see a chases. Smugglers who transport tobacco products evade the police. Backing home, Fabietto walk close to Patricia behind the rest of the family. Fabietto has crazy feeling to his aunt, but is afraid to admit his feelings and leaves her. Home, Fabietto carefully examines his grandmother, but she asks him not to do this because it is still too early for him to think about these things. Before asleep, Marcino and Fabietto talking about the football again. Fabietto hazing feelings for Patricia. The guy would have preferred a transfer to Napoli and could have turned down the opportunity to make love to his beautiful aunt. In the next day, Marcino and Fabietto go to the casting of a film by a famous director in the city. Marcino has a dream of becoming an actor and getting at least a small role, but gets rejected from it. The boy Fabietto is attracted to the beautiful girl in red, but realizes that she prefers rich men, regardless of their appearance in front of the other. Fabietto look in the studio. He notices hundreds of photos of beauties on the wall and realizes that he would like to make a movie, communicating with actresses and enjoying the precious time. Back home, the brothers freeze in place. The whole city was literally put on pause, and they can be understood as they all noticed Diego Maradona, who arrived in Naples. When returning home, Fabietto tells his parents. But they did not trust the news, considering it a big mistake which happened. Maria calls the neighbors and informs them that they have been invited to act in the movie. Saverio did not like that, and the family goes to the neighbors to confess to the ridiculous joke which just happened. At night, the family gets a phone call from Saverio's mistress, causing Fabietto's parents, Fabietto, fight hard. The mother tries to calm herself down by juggling, but she gets hysterical feeling. Fabietto worries about his mother and has a seizure, which his older brother helps him get out of. Then after that, the family is called again, and Maria believes that this is her husband's mistress who is calling. Saverio reassures his wife, as this is a colleague at work who decided to share news with him. The bank has issued insurance for hundreds of millions, which finally confirms the transfer of Diego Maradona to Napoli. The next morning, Saverio gives Fabietto a season ticket to the local team's home games so that his youngest son can watch the world-class soccer star play. Upon returning home, Maria meets a neighbor who has mental disorders. A woman is happy that her eldest son has a girlfriend, but at the same time, she is sad because of a quarrel with her husband. Mario supports the neighbor by drawing an indecent drawing, causing her to smile and laugh. Meanwhile, Saverio tells Fabietto about how he met Fabietto's mother. A man is sure that the first adult experience in a guy's life is the most important thing that can happen. He asks his son not to be afraid and take advantage of anyone who offers to enjoy the time with him. In the evening, Fabietto cannot sleep and goes to the city center, where they shoot a film by a famous director. Capuano is very demanding of actresses, but this is not surprising because he creates masterpieces of Italian cinema. Fabietto admires the main actress and dreams ending up in the same bed with her. After a soccer match, Fabietto meets Armando and recognizes him as a smuggler who escaped from the police. In the evening, Maria forgives her husband, and the couple reconciles. But before this happens, the wife plays Saverio as a fake bear. Sometime later, one of the family members is arrested for financial fraud. No one cares because Diego Maradona scored a goal with his hand, which the referee counted. Soon this event becomes a landmark because it has political overtones. The hand of God will forever go down in history as a symbol of strength, freedom, and independence. The whole city of Naples is celebrating a spectacular victory, and only my grandmother is sad because of the arrest of one of her sons. She makes complaints to her relatives, but they angrily attack her and beat her. A couple of days later, Maria and Saverio go to a country house. They offer Fabietto to go with them, but the guy refuses because he wants to get to the next game of his favorite club. My parents fall asleep on the sofa next to the fireplace, and a couple of hours later, Fabietto and Marcino learn the terrible news. Arriving at the hospital, the brothers realize that their parents fell into an eternal sleep, having become victims of a carbon monoxide leak. Fabietto wants to see the bodies of his deceased parents, but he is not allowed to do so, which leads to hysteria of the guy. Sometime later, the family holds the funeral of Maria and Saverio. Fabietto can't cry and finds out that Aunt Patricia has gone to a psychiatric hospital for compulsory treatment. Alfredo learns that Fabietto was supposed to go with his parents and says that the guy was saved by the hand of God. Sometime later, the brothers watch Maradona train and note his tenacity. Marcino has no strength to endure the harsh reality and decides to leave for Rome to start his life with a clean slate. Couple of days later, Fabietto visits Patricia in a psychiatric hospital. As it turned out, the infertile woman managed to get pregnant, but she lost the child, which led to a quarrel with her husband. She doesn't want to see him and decided that it's better for her to live in a hospital than to communicate with her husband. Confessing his sympathy to his aunt, the guy returns home. A neighbor on the floor above invites the guy to her house and asks him to catch a bat. A few minutes later, the Baroness calls Fabietto into the bedroom and asks him to read her. An elderly woman realizes that he has never had a girlfriend and decides to help with this. The Baroness enjoys the time with the guy, allowing him to call her by her aunt's name. Having become a man, Fabietto decides to smoke and realizes that now he cannot be afraid of dating girls. Sometime later, Fabietto cries for the first time, expressing his emotions over the loss of his parents. In the theater, the guy enjoys playing the actress, but understands that there is no chance to get acquainted with her. After meeting with Armando, Fabietto goes to the port. There are a lot of girls of easy virtue here, but the pimp drives away the insolent ones. Armando beats up the man, after which they escape and decide to go to the island. Here, Fabietto notices an Arab sheik and a model, realizing that without money, no beauty will be near him. As a result of the evening's adventures, Armando and Fabietto become best friends. A couple of days later, Armando ignores the guy, so he goes to the beach with his relatives. Embarrassed by his feelings, he climbs to the top of a cold volcano and listens to music, remembering his dead parents. Marcino admits that he does not want to think about the past and is not going to return to Naples. He is happy in Rome and feels free here. Realizing that it will not be possible to change his brother's mind, Fabietto says goodbye to Marcino and returns home. Sometime later, the guy watches the premiere of Capuano's movie and goes to prison to meet Armando. As it turned out, he did not ignore it, but simply fell into the hands of the police, who sent him to jail. Remaining the best friend for the prisoner, Fabietto again goes to the theater. In the middle of the performance, Capuano calls the actress mediocrity, which is why the girl runs away from the stage with tears in her eyes. Fabietto decides to get to know the director better and ask him for good advice. The eccentric Capuano ignores the guy, but learns that he is an orphan. Realizing that Fabietto has gone through all the stages of growing up for his young age, the director agrees to help him and offers to work together on a future film. Fabietto decides to think for a while, but soon realizes that he is not ready to stay in Naples. Leaving his sister, who is always sitting in the toilet, the guy leaves the house without saying goodbye to the neighbors. He visits his aunt for the last time and realizes that nothing will ever happen between them. The whole city is celebrating Napoli's first ever Serie A title, but Fabietto doesn't care about football. He goes to the train station and buys a ticket for the next train to Rome. On the way, the guy notices a small monk and hears the whistle with which the parents confess their feelings for each other. Realizing that this is only the beginning of his journey to adulthood, Fabietto does not lose hope for a better future. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. We really hope to read your comments.